You are indeed logged on to WINNFM 98.9 and you're listening to Voices. Host today, Socrates. It's the 18th day of October. And we're going to have a wonderful discussion today. No plans, but just a easy chit chat. Want to say good morning to all the listeners, viewers on the various platforms. We pause now forward from our sponsors, and then we come right back to a very exciting little chit chat today. See you in a few.
Triple the joy at home as you elevate your experience with Flo's new Triple Play bundles. For the first time ever, bundle up and save on internet, TV, and home phone together for more satisfaction. For as low as $175, enjoy up to 35 megabits per second super fast internet, 70 TV channels with HD entertainment, and free landline minutes with the all-in bundle. Visit your nearest Flo store to sign up for a Triple Play bundle. Conditions apply.
Gift for Dad's birthday? Click. Ooh, Janice's retirement party? Click. Outfit for my girl's wedding? Click. With TDC Airbox, you click, we ship. Register for your free US mailbox today and shop all your favorite stores online. Enjoy the convenience. Free consolidation up to £10. Competitive rates. Free package tracking account with live notifications. Free delivery and, of course, excellent customer service. Visit our website at tdcairbox.com and register today. For more information, visit our offices at the C.A. Paul Industrial Site in St. Kitts and Penny's Industrial Site in Nevis. Follow us on social media at TDC Airbox. TDC Airbox. You click, we ship. Terms and conditions apply.
Pump it up with Quicks. One pump and you're pumping. Dish is done, you're smiling. Pump it up with Quicks. Keep pumping. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. Pumping up with Quicks now. Clean that sink. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. Pump it up.
And we're back with the program. As I say, you're locked on to WINNFM 98.9 to another episode of Voices. My name is Socrates. Don't have any particular topic today. Of course, Voices is a program that caters to the general public. And we can call in, want to make a debate to the a contribution to the national debate, social discourse. The numbers to call are 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989. And we go farther afield. We go 718-265-6948, 508. 921-4619, and then for the UK region we have 0333-044-0055. My vocals are a bit messed up because I've been busy over the weekend, but I'll try to slow down and articulate. Well, I say good morning to Rosemary Donald up there in New York City. She just logged on. There's Brenda in Charlotte. There is Amber and Zara and Cleo over there in Anguilla. We're going to make you guys superstars shortly. Just about everybody within the ambit of WINNFM, Mr. Peter Inganjuri, the Governor General, those in transportation, those in health, those in security, the average Joe. Pleasant good morning to you from the studios of WINNFM. Now, last week, Monday, I got off on my stump. And it was interesting. And I want to continue a bit of that. Of course, I gave out the calls for anyone who want to call in and wait on any topic. They're free to do so. In the meantime, I want to give an update on what happened from what happened last week. Last week, among the things I said, the many things I mentioned that the presidents of the three main associations, there are two tax associations, and there's one taxi cooperative, of which I'm the president. We were invited. I did say that we've been trying to see the Prime Minister for some time, and we were invited to meet with him, other cabinet colleagues, and the members of the task force. We had about, I would say, a 2.5-hour meeting where just about everything that related to the industry, taxi-wise, was discussed. We were able to make an initial report via social media to our membership. about what was discussed, not in any great detail because there are some things just still being worked out. We were promised that there'll be a follow-up meeting within 2 weeks to address some of the issues that were brought to the fore. I can say that about 7 to 10 minutes ago, I got a call from a certain gentleman asking the two presidents and I to meet with them tomorrow morning at 10:30. So, as a way of following up and giving information as a result of part of the dialogue from last week, Monday, the interest has been shown, promises of support, assistance, and endorsements have been made to make sure that all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed as it relates to the taxi, the fraternity, the issues of work, and all that. Now, at the same time, I want to touch on something that's been rubbing me the wrong way for some time. It appears just about every time taxi issues come up, we get lectured as to what we should do, what we are not doing, and how we are to conduct our affairs. Just about everybody has an opinion, and seemingly the perception that we just come to the circus daily, sit around doing nothing. We need to diversify. We need to. There's so many people have been doing that. As a matter of fact, during our conversation with the Prime Minister last week, he raised that issue, and he was told by David Brandy about the many aspects, the many things that taxi drivers have been engaging in outside the norm. And he was encouraged to hear that because, as I said, the seeming perception is that we just sit around and wait for handouts. That is not the issue, and that is not what we're advocating. Not at all. But we were able to get the attention of the relevant bodies. And as I said, a meeting was promised within 2 weeks. Let me just go backwards to, this is Monday, right? So from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I would say about 5 days. Am I right, Sharon? I'm a bit fuzzy with the math. We have had a response, very positive, indicating that we've been taken seriously. And so even though I've not been able to reach out to the two other presidents as yet, I got that call on my way to the studios. I know they'll get the information, and I'll, of course, follow up officially. But that's as far as that goes. One of the issues that was raised last week, and there was some pushback on it, was that we seem to be attacking, for the lack of a better word, a certain entity, and that it's time that we move on. And I'm thinking that, ironically, this came from a very important player in the reparation movement. And I thought, strange, you're asking us to forget and move on, but yet on the issue of reparation, you're pushing back against that very mindset that we're supposed to forget slavery and move on. That is not a good position to be in, where you're asking people, oh, forget about this and move on. But yet you're advocating that for the purpose of reparation, we stay keeping people's feet to the fire to ensure that reparation, recognition, respect, apologies are paid to the people who was wronged. So there are similarities, the parallels that we have to look at. I want to send condolences to the families of those bereaved. We understand there was an incident yesterday. A young man may have lost his life. I don't have the details, but still we send and extend condolences. For those celebrating anniversaries, birthday, just enjoying yourself a happy day. I want to say you're on God's green earth and you count every single day as a blessing. This is the day the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it with all the things that surround us. I will continue to. Every single day you rise, there'll be problems and problems. It comes down to how you deal with them, how you face them. Take a deep breath, step back. You have it within you to address all the challenges that come your way. As it is said, I'm kind of on the pulpit this morning. The Lord don't give us more than we can bear, right? So Africa, you called with a query for information. I hope you're listening. Yes, we did meet with the Prime Minister, and let me explain, David Brandy, who is president of the WINNMedia Taxi Association, Mr. Tyrone Richardson, a.k.a. Mr. T, president of the St. Kitts Taxi Association, and myself. And I want to say again that information was shared, because sometimes we hear where you go to meetings, you don't report to us that information was shared. We left there about, and this was at the finance building up there by the airport, what's known as the Sanford building. We left there about 11:15. Our meeting was due to start at 8:30. It started shortly thereafter, and we left there about 11:15. So we're pushing 3 hours, and tried to attend the press conference, which was held by Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Lindsay Grant. Unfortunately, we got there just in time for the question session, so we didn't get the gist of what was being said. And from there, I had to rush to another event. So it was a bit of a rush for me on Thursday, so I didn't really gather what the gist of Minister Grant's press conference was about. I heard something secondhand in the circus, but that's not how I would wish to disseminate information on the public airways. So, once again, I know our good friend, what's his name there? He always calling. He got called off last time. Another waiting in Africa waiting to call his journey. We apologize for getting called off last time. He called me sometime after, but I was in the midst of a recording session. Very impassioned. He says he's reading, he's researching, and of course he have lots to share. It's a journey. Get a chance, he goes to call Reverend Pastor Cumberbatch. If the topic comes up today, I need your help. I'm not as versed in the Bible as you are, so Sister Henry, all the folks out there who make the contribution, we're standing by. Once again, and we go to the phone lines. Caller, you're live on Voices. Good day, caller, you're live on Voices. Okay, we may have issue with that caller getting through. Sometimes I get that. If nothing there, we'll pause for a word from our sponsors and then come back and sort that out if we can. Okay?
Feel the magic happening.
Campari.
Taste. Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
Buying your medication is easy with City Drug Store's curbside pickup. WhatsApp our certified pharmacist at 662-8769 with your requests. For prescriptions, take a clear photograph and send for review. We will engage you in dialogue and then provide a quotation and link for payment. You can then pay via TDC's online payment portal. And once the transaction is complete, you'll be notified that your pickup is ready. Yes, it's that easy. Send your WhatsApp message to 662-8769 to order your medications today with City Drug Store's curbside pickup service.
Triple the joy at home as you elevate your experience with Flo's new Triple Play bundles. For the first time ever, bundle up and save on internet, TV, and home phone together for more satisfaction. For as low as $175, enjoy up to 35 megabits per second super fast internet, 70 TV channels with HD entertainment, and free landline minutes with the all-in bundle. Visit your nearest Flo store to sign up for a Triple Play bundle. Conditions apply.
WINNFM reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who, in WINNFM's considered opinion, is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air.
Once again, good morning. We're back on Voices. I just got a text from Brenda up there in Charlottesville inquiring about the topic for today. We're just following up on last week. And then Chris Collins promised me a packed show today. We go to the phone lines as we speak. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices. Are we having a problem with the phone lines? Okay, caller, we don't know what the issue is. We can only ask that you try again. But we're not getting you here in the studio, so we apologize. For those who want to try their luck, it's 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989. And for the field, we got 718-265-6948. Then there's 508-921-4619. And there's 30333-0440065. Call, we ask you to continue. Be patient with us. We're not sure what the challenges are, but we're not getting the calls in the studio. So please keep trying. Who knows what happened? Yes, Chris thought I'm going to have an exciting show today. Before I left home, I was watching a press conference held by the People's Action Movement, and Lady Natasha Gray was announcing her candidacy as a candidate in the next election. She'll be contesting in, is this constituency 1? All right. She made a very good presentation. The endorsement was strong. And the support, I think, she's a person who is known within the community. I'm not trying to endorse, but she's a person like, she was asked, like, the Honorable Ian Patches-Lay, but his slogan was, well, you know me, I know you. I think the very same can be said about her. But that's further down the road. And it was made to understand just a few minutes ago that a former employee of WINNFM would have passed, I think it was last Wednesday. We want to extend, once again, condolences to her family, her friends, her circle. I don't know the circumstance, but I met the lady very pleasant, etc. So it's saddening to hear of so many persons, some prominent, some everyday people, we're all the same when it comes down to it. Just, wow. And it makes you wonder. And that's why I say when you rise in the morning, you count the blessings first, and you brush all the other incidentals off your shoulder. There are too many nonsense up there to get embroiled and caught up in when life is so precious and fleeting. One has to take time, pause, and reflect. Is this the way I want to live my life today? Is this the way I want to do tomorrow? You know? And so one has to pause oftentimes and think, reflect. You know, it's even though we know and accept that death is inevitable, it always shocks us into a sense of reality because it reminds us of our mortality. And we say, there, by the grace of God, you know, goes I. So that moment of reflection was geared towards a former employee of WINNFM here who passed rather recently. As I said earlier, we send out condolences to the families of the many bereaved. We know there's been a bit of that and sinkers around the region recently, like we're just shocked into, wow. But this too shall pass. Okay. Today is the 18th of October, as I mentioned earlier. It's the official day, the end of registration for Calypsonians. You have the option to register online or go straight to the office. It's at the top of the 4th Street and Keon there by the service station. You go there and you get your registration in. It's Sugar Mass 50, the 50th anniversary of Carnival. There are those who feel that we should not even entertain the thought of having Carnival They say last year we didn't have any incidents of death, and it was done. But this year, the numbers are increasing, and people are still being irresponsible. So they're questioning the wisdom behind having a carnival. I still believe that we should not entertain this bubble. We cannot forever live in a bubble. We have to open up. We have to look at commerce. We have to look at normalizing the COVID. We have to live with it. But it's how. It's not that it has to be a threat in your face every single day. It's how you deal with it. Ovin and Gwilla, my grandkids can't go to school. They have to go in phases because of, the challenges. But the fact is we have to learn how to live with it, etc. Again, the numbers to call if you wish to try your luck are 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989, 718-265-6948. Hey, Brenda, give me a call. We had a nice chat last week. Give me a call. Let me update you and have a little chit-chat as to what has transpired since our meeting with the Prime Minister, cabinet colleagues on the task force last Monday. Some of the questions you raised last week were addressed. And so give me a call. Let's chat. 508-921-4619, 0333-044-0065. And just a reminder, we're in November, so it's Breast Cancer Month. We're in October. I thought it was in November. Not yet. Yes, we are in October. It is still observed as Breast Cancer Month. And the 1st of November, we will observe World AIDS Day. I know there is a campaign coming up to remind people that AIDS is still out there and very, very potent. We are somewhat sidetracked and distracted with the focus being on COVID-19. So AIDS is creeping in the background, making a comeback. One has to be careful. Now there's a campaign where they catchphrase cover up and cover down. So one has to be mindful of that also. So for the taxi men who may not have heard what I said earlier, I would say members of the taxi fraternity, we would have met with the Prime Minister and cabinet members last week, Thursday. We had roughly a 3-hour meeting, and some of our burning issues were tabled. And I can tell you attention is being focused on the way forward. So there is hope yet. Okay? Let's see what's taking the call. So yes, Brenda, Chris, the folks out there, let me know what's happening in the farther field. Okay? Now, what shall we discuss? Journey, where are you? Yesterday, some Calypsonians were afforded the courtesy of recording some of the material to take part in the Caribbean Calypso Community Clash. First episode was aired last week, Saturday night. It extends to late December every Saturday. And there are, I think, 5 teams involved. And St. Kitts Nevis is represented in that clash. So next Saturday, for those interested, you have a chance to tune in and view that show. You're going to have on stage Monarch, Diva, Invincible, and all those folks on the show. And we'll be aired around the world. I think it's tegostream.com. There's a fee of $20 US to sign on to that. We'll be clashing with a team from Guyana. So that's going to be a major platform to see, a platform for Team SKN to be performing on. And I just have a breaking news items. Let me see. 2 hours ago, it reads former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell dies after complications from COVID-19. I'll read that again. Because I know there's some folks in the U.S. and out there who may not have been updated with this. Former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell has died after complications from COVID-19. It's like I'm saying, you just can't get away from this thing. And nobody is spared. Colin Powell, first black U.S. Secretary of State, has died from complications after contracting COVID-19. A statement from his family has said. He was 84 years old. Powell had previously been diagnosed with multiple melanoma, a type of blood cancer in plasma cells that suppresses the body's immune response. CNN reports even if fully vaccinated against COVID-19, those who are immunocompromised are at greater risk of the virus. That is a renowned figure who exited the world stage some years ago when he retired after leaving the White House, but has been very, very visible in terms of the commentary he would make during the Black Lives Matter issue. He made statements that supported that narrative and came out and sort of spoke to America when Donald Trump was having his heyday, blah, 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 blah. So his voice was very well respected, and I know, indeed, he will be missed. This just hits me. And for those who may have missed it, once again, former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell dies from complications of COVID-19. So he's taken the small and the great and just about everybody. And there are those who don't trust the science, the information, they think is a conspiracy, and refuses to believe that there is something such. Some says this is that. And though the origins are not generally known, and the question is, how can you create a cure for something whose origin you can't speak to? And then they're leaders, they're scientists who speak with scientific certainty. And you run with that, and then next day, they change the story. So you create that mistrust. You don't know who to trust, you don't know who to believe, and that fuels those who are vaccine hesitant. We understand we are living in a very complicated world, very complicated time. But every once in a while, you have to pause and think for yourself. You're imbued with enough information and knowledge to figure out things for yourself. We can't know everything. We can't be 100% accurate all the time, but use what we call the common sense to try to figure out for yourself and do what's best for yourself, your family, the folks around you. And that's... We'll leave that before we pause for a break from our sponsors.
Triple the joy at home as you elevate your experience with Flo's new triple play bundles. For the first time ever, bundle up and save on internet, TV, and home phone together for more satisfaction. For as low as $175, enjoy up to 35 megabits per second super fast internet, 70 TV channels with HD entertainment, and free landline minutes with the all-in bundle. Visit your nearest Flo store to sign up for a triple play bundle. Conditions apply.
Insurance Company Limited. We care about your investment. Guarantee you peace of mind. The best team in the business. Guarantee you peace of mind. No other company will guarantee you peace of mind. Together we'll succeed and guarantee you peace of mind. CDC Insurance Company Limited, where you get more coverage for less. Fruta, taste the real Fruta. Enjoy the real Fruta. Refreshing juice of every day. Whoa, Fruta. Drink the real Fruta. Your favorite Fruta. The natural taste is Fruta. Fruta.
Your favorite fruit has got a new skin with real juice within. Drink the real Fruta. Enjoy the real joy.
Taste the real Fruta. Enjoy the
Fruta, juiced right.
Win FM reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who, in Win FM's considered opinion, is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air.
And with that disclaimer, we continue with the show. I believe we are experiencing some technical challenges. And I can tell you that the engineer is trying to address those because if not, it means you're stuck with my boring voice all day. There are people trying to get in, but for whatever reason, we have some problems with the phone line. Those, even in the U.S., are trying to get in on the discussion. So, yes. Let me give out the numbers once again. Somebody asked about the numbers in the U.S. We have 718-265-6948. From the Florida area, we got 508-921-4619. And there's 0333-044-0065. I got something from Chris Collins, but it sort of disappeared in the mix here. I'm told if you want to WhatsApp, the number is 662-2204. WhatsApp number 662-222204. That gets you on the discussion. If you want to send a message, well, you know, I'm kind of slow, so. If you want to send a message, I have another missed call from Lady Brenda up there. So there are attempts to get in on the discussion. Unfortunately, these challenges are beyond our control. And I was really depending on the public to have a little dialogue today. So I was saying the registration closes today for Calypsonians who want to take part in the Sugar Mass 50 competition. Well, there was also this soccer artist also. And like last year, we're going to have a viral endeavor. It was very virtual. It was very well received. Dominica had one. We actually, of the Triple C, that's the Caribbean Calypso Community Class, we're having one as we speak. Next Saturday night, you're going to have Team Legends and Team Guyana competing against each other in that clash. It will be on the Tego Stream live, and there's a fee of $20 US to get you on that to see the team from St. Kitts take on. It's like a CPL concept. So Team SKN has 3 persons from St. Kitts in terms of artists, the actual 5 persons. The other 2 would be the MC, which is Clement Magaro Monarch, manager, Jason Brazier, and the rookie would be the Invincible from Nevis, Diva, Lady Diva, and myself comprise the team from St. Kitts. From Dominica, we have the Hunter. From St. Vincent, we have Fire Empress. And from Guyana, we have Militant. For those who remember Militant, he had the song Hot and Groovy and Passion. I know Rosemary loved Passion. The way you make me feel. So that they comprise Team SKN. And we clash with the Guyana Gladiators this Saturday. Okay. So I just mentioned the passing of Colin Powell, and that news item was flashed about 2 hours ago. He died of complications of COVID-19. We've had our numbers here in SKN. The last figures I gathered was up to 21. 21 deaths attributed to COVID-19. We now have the accommodations of field hospitals with capacity up to 40 persons. I think there's another one due for Nevis. Prior to that, I know the capacity at Jenner for cases with COVID-19 was up to 20. And there was always ways that concern should we get overrun. Very, very tiny nation, and to have the accommodations up to 20 persons at JNF if you were infected with COVID-19, that I think was a major concern. Now we're in a position to say we are in reception. We have received, I think, 2 field hospitals and capacity is up to 40. There was the demonstrations given over the weekend. And there was a figure, okay, they know what they're doing, they expect more deaths, so they brought in field hospitals. You cannot deal with people's reaction all the time to determine your way forward. You make preparations for what may be the inevitable, given the current surge, the current behavior of COVID-19. I'm told that we have to be grateful we don't have the Delta variant here in St. Kitts because that's the most deadly. Not yet. Sharon says, Lord, I hope we don't come at all. I hope we don't come at all. So that was determined last week during the meeting that we don't have the Delta variant and we're not looking for a Delta. Whether there's Delta, Panama, American Airlines flying elsewhere, do not come to St. Kitts. Do not come to St. Kitts. And so we have to keep our fingers crossed, be very vigilant. Of course, we open up for travel. The incubation period, well, no, that's word there, I kind of forget it. When you arrive now, you have to be in quarantine for them to just 24 hours. It was 14 days, they dropped it. Now we're down to 24 hours. If you're fully vaccinated and you're tested, you have a 24-hour window before you can go into the public. So the hotels are looking forward to that accommodation. The cruise industry now, that's a bigger challenge. We're still quarantining areas of Port Zantic, trying to create a bubble space down there for the few ships we have coming with the numbers. We have to go through a trial phase until we get it right. So that proves a challenge, but of course, we are, I would say, taking all the steps necessary to live with COVID in a common sense approach. And we have a caller on the phone lines. Caller, you're live on Voices. Got my fingers crossed. Go to caller, you're live on Voices. Nada. Let's see what this person who texts said. The person says, oh God, I want to chat. I want to chat with you too. I have a little bit of snippets here. My apologies. Yeah, this is a text that came in from Brenda up in Charlotte. Oh God, she wants to chat. Me too. But today seems that the cheese will stand alone. Cheese will stand alone. Caller, you're live in Voices. Welcome to the program. Okay. Okay, we would have lost a caller also. I can promise you that the technicians are doing their best to sort out this problem because there are people trying to get in and be part of the discussion. Unfortunately, sometimes technology has its own way, and today, Monday, the 18th of October, is one of those days. Go to caller, you're live on Voices. Go to caller, you're live on Voices. Hello, caller, are you there? Okay. Okay. All right. So, for those who are, the faithful and the determined, you may get through once you continue calling. So, yes. I'll be calling the service providers to see that they can sort this problem out because it's called Voices, not Socrates chatting all by himself. Let me see, I have a text here that says this relates to friends coming in on ship. Travel is back. Travel is back. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. My friends are on their way. I think they arrive Thursday or Friday. I think this caller is the text is referring to a caller from last week who spoke about passengers coming on the smaller vessel that goes over to Karambola, and they were inquiring about how do one, like a taxi driver, get those folks if there are those restrictions in place. And I want to say to the public that some of the concerns I raised last week about how the work were disseminated at the ports, where the quote-unquote independent taxi drivers will go down there with high anticipation and watch as all the work would leave with the larger entities. That was a major concern. And I was able to say to the Prime Minister and other cabinet members of the task force president, that we don't want you to have to be in a position of continuously giving us stimulus package and this and that, even though we don't want that. We're about work. We invested. We are business persons who would have invested. But our sector, the tourism sector, was hardest hit. So even though you're trying to assist and you have done so, we don't want to be eternally in that position, that situation. We have to be asking for assistance. We want work. So now that we've waited, you've done what you would have had to do, Minister Grant, to get the ships to come here. We cannot have the optics of the work flowing in just one direction. And they, members of the task force, I can quote Deputy Prime Minister Richards, the Honorable Wendy Phipps, Minister of Trade, were at pains to explain to us in the meeting, Mr. Brandy, Mr. Richardson and myself, that they have had the same concerns, and they were able to demonstrate to us where they went and had discussions with these entities and the authorities about what was happening. Let's see if we can get this call online. Caller, live on Voices. Go right ahead if you can. Go to caller, live on Voices. Okay. Faithful will keep trying. We apologize for that. So yes, I mentioned 3 persons who were able to explain to us that day. One, I would say, was Mr. Abdiel Samuel, Deputy Prime Minister Richards, the Honorable Wendy Phipps, and they were backed up by the Prime Minister. Yes, we have had the same concerns as you would have explained. We have done this. We have done that. We're on the same page. You know. And I want to say that we were very much encouraged by that, because there are times that you feel that nobody really cares about you. And they were able to say to us that these very concerns, we observe them, apart from the optics, the investment, the ships now come in, whatever the numbers, the work has to be shared. And they were trying that. As a matter of fact, the meeting that's slated for tomorrow at 10:30 would be about addressing those concerns. So I want to thank them once again. And I want to say to the public at large that don't always believe that taxi drivers just they're waiting and dependent on government, because just about every time we raise our concerns, we're being lectured to. I take umbrage with that. We've been lectured. Oh, taxman, you need to do this. You need to do that. You have no idea what we're doing. You don't have. As a matter of fact, so many of the taxi drivers or taxi operators are retired persons, retired civil servants, retired businessmen. And so they would have secured for themselves over the many years. This may have been a way of supplementing their pensions and their Social Security benefits. Others would have it as their main source of income. So you can't just paint everybody with the same brush. We have different level of interest. Those who are retired and getting the thing, they're okay. But there are those who would have taken out a mortgage at a time when things look so very promising. So they say, well, all taxi man just waiting and this and always complaining and doing this. So many of them have had to compete with Uber in terms of the prices. Some time ago, we were here on a similar program discussing the issue, and a person who is a manager of a business on 4th Street, one of those eateries, was of an impression where we could drop our prices to. And the question was asked, well, what if somebody pull up next to your establishment and start selling the same thing at a much cheaper price? How would you feel? How would you feel if somebody pulled up next to your eatery establishment on 4th Street and start selling the same product at a much cheaper price? And so we were being lectured to people who could only see things from one side. Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that, you need to drop your price. They have no idea. And there are those who will push back saying that we are sensitive and this and that, and this is part of the national debate and dialogue. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And there's some of us who did not husband the business model very well, and of course, like anybody else, you pay the consequence. There, I think 18 was the figure given of vehicles that were repossessed by certain, companies. And of course, the taxes would hurt. But there was always a backstory behind that. But where we can, we will try to assist our membership. So we appreciate your input, etc., but don't always come off to lecture us. And especially if your hand is out to somebody else. They want to lecture you and insult you before they assist you. We are doing what we can to get ourselves up and running. I can speak for a certain corporation they were in the red for some years, and within a month or two, they were up and ready to go. Investment, we put our hands in our pocket and we did what we had to do to get up and ready to go, and then COVID hit. Oh, COVID hit a long time ago. You need to get over it and get going and this and that and that. But it's so competitive up there. It's so competitive. We're talking at least, say, 300 taxi drivers who have to find this, that. So not everybody can take advantage of all the options that you're suggesting. So many have gone into farming. So many have gone into cooking, vending here, this and that and that. Can the market sustain it? Let's try once again for a phone call from the public. Caller, live on Voices. Good caller, you are live on Voices. We're going to pause for a word from our sponsors. Anyway, time.
Pump it up with Quicks. One pump and you're pumping. Dish is done, you're smiling. Pump it up with Quicks. Keep pumping. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. I don't want a dirty sink. Keep pumping up with Quicks now. Clean that sink. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. Pump it up.
TDC Automotive is paying for you. Deposit? We're paying. 3-month installments? We're paying. Pay nothing for 3 months because we are paying. Take a moment, catch your breath, and roll out with ease. Save over $20,000 off your new Toyota Hiace because TDC Automotive is paying. Get your Toyota Hiace today. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason. Terms and conditions apply.
Win FM reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who, in Win FM's considered opinion, is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air.
Okay, we're back, and just to let you know, you're logged on to WINNFM 98.9 on the FM dial. You listen to Voices. My name is Socrates, host of today's program. And yes, Journey, He texts, "The King, this is Johnny. I am calling. The call is now going to a recording. So, again, well, you're so unfortunate. You have so much to say. Last week you got cut off, and now today you can't get in. We apologize for that also. But I know you're a very determined person. You will keep trying until you get through on the program. You guys are just about 10 minutes before the news time, so I'm going to have to fill this next 10 minutes with a bit of chit-chat. What's up there? Let's talk, Sean. What's up? What's hot up there?
Oh, you want me to say something?
Mm-hmm. I'm engaging the engineer as we speak.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what's going on out there. I saw a little while ago that there was a funnel cloud that was spotted in Trinidad.
Was a what?
A funnel cloud.
A funnel cloud.
Mm-hmm.
When they're on land, they're called tornadoes.
Yes.
When they're over the ocean, they're called
a funnel
water
spout or a funnel cloud. Yeah. I don't think it actually touched ground, but it was quite visible.
Okay.
No mistaking what it was. I'll put it that way.
We're still until November 1st in the hurricane season. Until November 1st, we're still in the hurricane season. I've seen those over the many years. And some years ago, there was one that touched down in Newton Ground. And there was one in the Keon area. Now, there was sleet in one of those anomalies. And, you know, we both said we're blessed, so these things are not supposed to happen. So when it happened elsewhere. And for my Trinidad and friend listening, they have always said Trinidad like to be in everything. Trinidad like to be in everything. The one tsunami, the one this, the one that, and that. You know what I mean? Like Roma Corso was on the show some nights ago. She's a Trinidadian comedian. She was saying that Trinidadians can't join ISIS. You know, they can't be suicide bombers because they're shop late. So they'll have on the suicide vest going to their destination and hear a little party.
Sorry, just a quick correction. It wasn't Trinidad. It was in Tobago.
In Tobago. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the funnel
cloud.
Well, funnel cloud was seen in Tobago, not Trinidad. But yeah, Roma was saying that you know, Trinis who join ISIS and want to be suicide bombers would not really fit that bill because on the way to a party, they hear a little pan knocking, they're going to stop, you know. You tell the road people they'll be late. And if the family come from away, they want to check in with the family first to see what they brought for them. So that's for my Trinbago friends out there listening. The humor from Roma Cosa. And she is a Trinidadian Trinbago comedian living in Canada, who was the MC for the Global Goliath during the clash last weekend. That was shown on Gael. Tego Streams. For those who want to log on to that, it's the Tego Stream platform, and it's $20 US to see that aspect of the clash where SKN legends will take part. On that show last week, Saturday, we had Queen Independence. She's part of the Trinidad, how do they go? Punishing Punishers. TNT, Punishing Punishers. She sang no rat-a-tat-tat or tat-tat, you know. And so she was on the team from St. Kitts representing the TNT Punishers. And so it's, as I said, it's a CPL concept. So we'll be on that night to represent our local team. So there is that. So for Trinbago, you had a funnel cloud in Tobago. And in St. Vincent, there was some news item this morning from the Prime Minister. Was it St. Vincent? No, it wasn't St. Vincent. Anyway. So we have a few minutes before the midday newscast. If anybody feel lucky enough to try their chances once again, the numbers to call are 466 0989 662 0989 762 0989 718 265 6948 508 921 4619, and we have 0333 044 0065. Within the Federation, things are a bit calm. It's a bit overcast weather-wise, but of course, as I said before, we're still in the midst of the hurricane season, even though it's passed us largely unscathed so far, and we're going to keep our fingers crossed. We haven't heard of any major disturbance within the region. So not only St. Kitts Nevis, but the region has been fortunate so far. We understand with global warming, we'll have more frequencies and more devastating natural disasters as we go along. We're not looking forward to that. From Haiti, there is a development that I am not happy with. We hear about the kidnapping of some, 18 missionaries in U.S. Personnel. That's not going to work out too well. We don't know what caused it, but people who are pressed always find ways to push back. It may not be the best method. We are not informed as to what, even if it's accurate, but it's making the waves news-wise. And we know that country, once people of their nationality is kidnapped or whatever, they focus all their guns. So I'm not looking... Well, I'm not expecting, I'm hoping for a very amicable outcome of this situation. But I don't want anybody to go into Haiti with guns blazing. We saw it happen in Grenada. The pretext was that the students at the university their lives were being threatened, and so Reagan sent in the big troops, the big guns. We don't want that here. We don't want it in Haiti. We pray, we who know better, we who know what's happening there, pray with the people of Haiti. Sometimes desperation creates a situation that's not the best thing for everyone, but it's a situation that we need to pay attention to. We in the region, CARICOM, etc., need to do what we can to be part of that discussion, that dialogue that would help to diffuse that situation, hoping and praying that it does not escalate, because it will not bode well for our people in Haiti. Yes, I identified with the Haitians because I identify. We try the phone lines one more time. Call A Live on Voices. Got to call A Live on Voices. As you got 3 minutes to the midday newscast. Yes, that situation unfolding in Haiti. I think last week I saw a news item that the trial for... was it the trial? About, it could be the trial because I haven't arrested anybody. No, it could be the trial, but there was some item about the death of Moise and the investigation. It could not be a trial, so I must have read wrong. It was one? It couldn't be the trial because we haven't heard anything about any arrests, any investigation, etc. So on the heels of what happened there and this current situation, we say once again, Haiti, we're sorry. Unfortunate that this measure had to be taken. We don't know the issues. We know some years ago, some of the quote-unquote missionaries that were going down there, especially after the earthquake, were pedophiles. And they see that opportunity to go down there and apply their nonsense on a lot of young persons, young boys and young girls down there in Haiti. So when we hear missionary, we immediately have this image of the pious and the, and sometimes it's not the case. So we've had for the past, I would say, 55 minutes, except for the station break. The sound of my voice, a bit hoarse. And we apologize to the public at large, those who call in, those who weigh in on the discussion. We apologize. We are experiencing, once again, some technical problems. The service providers has been engaged. The technicians are trying to address the problem. We ask you to bear with us as we pause for the midday newscast. I hope that we can have or continue with some dialogue after we midday newscast. Okay? Thank you for listening. We speak after.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Cariboury.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs, and make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, Dalil Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
With the Win FM News, I am Devon Cornelius. Making the headlines, Natasha Gray replaces Ian Patches Libert as Palm East Bastia candidate. In news from the Bahamas, people with marijuana convictions can apply to have record expunged. Internationally, Colin Powell, first black U.S. Secretary of State, dies of COVID-19 complications amid cancer battle. Now, the details. Natasha Gray has been named as the People's Action Movement PAM candidate to contest the East Bastia constituency in the next general election. The announcement of Gray's candidacy came at a press conference hosted Monday, October 18th.
We opened nominations on the 8th of June this year for anyone desirous of representing PAM in Constituency 1. When that exercise closed on 30th June, we emerged with the undisputed name of lawyer Natasha Shani Gray to be the next candidate for the People's Action Movement in East Bastia. Now that we have completed all internal processes, we are now able to move forward.
Gray replaces Ian Patches Libert as the Palm East Bastia candidate following his defeat in the 2020 general election to the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party's Dr. Jeffrey Hanley.
During the 1980s, I was a little girl coming up, and I had the distinct pleasure of being raised in an extended family. At one time, there were about 14 of us living in our family home on Pond Road. One of the benefits I derived from this is that I was able to watch my grandmother, Bernice Gray, marvel in her numerous political activities. I can recall the excitement on her face after successful elections and rallying behind the PAM candidate for East Bastia. At that age, I was not familiar with the individual candidates, but I always thought that I can one day achieve what that candidate has. That is, bring smiles on the faces of people. This was a defining moment for me. From a tender age, by virtue of my grandmother's involvement, I was involved in political activities and the life of the People's Action Movement. As I stand here today, I am convinced that there is some little boy or girl who is experiencing their defining moment as they watch me become the first female parliamentarian in East Bastia. So, you may ask yourself, why should you consider me as the best alternative to represent the people of East Bastia? Natasha Gray, born on the 26th October 1981 to Beryl Gray and Merlin Powell, from a very small age, I have always been a people-oriented person and not afraid to take on any task or challenge and work hard for what I believe in. Completing high school at the age of 15 and going straight into employment has taught me how to be responsible from a very early age. I am a self-employed attorney at law with my practice located 2 stone throws away from my family home on Pond Road, where I am faced with conflict resolution on a daily basis. I am the mother of a 23-year-old son who is a product of my ability to deal with challenging moments in life. In the face of challenges, this quiet individual has become a solution-oriented person, a resourceful individual who oftentimes make a way out of no way. Becoming a mother as a teenager increased my capacity how to care for others, and it has taught me how to balance family life with accomplishing my personal goals. Selfishness is not a part of my DNA. From my Girl Guides and Girl Brigade days, I have always adopted the motto of others. Others. Lord, yes, others. Let this my motto be. Help me to live for others, that I may live like thee. My lifetime quest to serve others is evident in my community involvement. Under the leadership of the late Lloyd Lazar, I volunteered as a Nima District 1 officer for a number of years. For many years, I was actively involved in our community festival, Newtown Fest, now known as East Fest. I have actively participated in many cleanup campaigns and community projects throughout the East Bastia community. I am the founder of the East Bastia Book Club, which I have committed to helping the youth in our community become better readers. As the owner of a small business within the community, as part of my civic responsibility, I have given back to my community in many charitable forms in an effort to assist and better the lives of the residents of East Bastia. My commitment to the People's Action Movement is one that cannot be questioned. From the age of 19 years old, I have been involved in every single campaign in some way, shape, or form. I was involved with prior candidates Vernon Vera, Glenroy Blanchett, and Ian Patches Liburd. I was also involved in the selection process in constituency number 1 when Ambassador Ian Patches Liburd was chosen as our candidate, and I was very instrumental in securing his victory in 2015. And I intend to advance on the work he has done in the East Bastia community.
Natasha Gray most recently served as General Secretary of the People's Action Movement and held various positions such as Deputy Chair, Treasurer, and Assistant General Secretary.
The process of second chances are well underway as 200 applicants have applied to the Rehabilitation of Offenders Committee to have 31 individuals have had their records expunged, according to committee chair Paul Farquharson. Now, Farquharson says that 27 of those applications were preferred to the Prerogative of Mercy Committee, 5 were recommended for counseling, and 2 applications came from individuals who applied too early. Now, as it relates to marijuana convictions, Farquharson says the committee can also expunge those records, but he says it depends on how much drugs the person was caught with.
Persons who have been convicted for minor matters as it relates to marijuana. And in the law, remember, this committee have to follow the law as it is today. And under the law, if someone is caught with marijuana, less than 10 pounds, this committee can deal with expungement of that particular record, provided the rehabilitation period under the Act for young persons and first-time offenders is 2 years. Normally, in any other offense, it's 5 years. And therefore, because of our focus on young persons and first-time offenders, the rehabilitation period is 2 years.
Now, Farquharson also stressed that the expungement is not automatic and will take some time.
In most countries, the process takes about a year to have your record expunged. I made the matters that we have dealt with. We have dealt with most of the matters within 6 months. That is for matters concerning the Rehabilitation of Offenders Committee. We cannot comment on what will happen in the Prerogative of Mercy. Only the minister can. And that process, remember, up to before this committee was formed, there were several matters laid dormant in the Ministry of National Security for a long time. And, but that backlog has been cleared.
President Paula May Weeks has broken her silence on the matter involving the Police Service Commission and the appointment of the Commissioner of Police. In a full-page newspaper advertisement on Sunday, President Weeks said neither she nor her office interfered in the process of selecting a Commissioner of Police. Kimberly D'Souza tells us more.
Following Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's vehement denial he interfered in the selection process of the Commissioner of Police, President Paula May Weeks also denied any involvement in the matter. President Weeks said she was awaiting the court's decision before speaking on the appointment of the Commissioner of Police and matters concerning the Police Service Commission. The High Court eventually found Gary Griffith's recent appointment as acting police commissioner unlawful and therefore void. In her statement, President Weeks said she did not willfully violate any provision of the Constitution, nor did anything to suggest she brought the office of the President into disrepute or endangered the security of the state. With respect to the order of merit list for the Commissioner of Police, President Weeks said a list was delivered to her office on August 11th this year, but was withdrawn the same day. As a result, she had no list from which to choose a nominee, adding that no other has since been submitted. As it relates to the acting Commissioner of Police, the President said she had some concerns about the legality of the Order of Merit list, and she discussed those with the PSC and Chief Parliamentary Counsel. As such, she did not send a notification forward, as she did not believe she had the power to do so by law. She reiterated that she stands by her decision, which was influenced by her then unresolved concerns. She noted at present there are 3 notifications with the Clerk of Representatives and 1 ongoing consultation with the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. She added that the Office of the President is assiduously working to identify a 5th nominee for the Police Service Commission. President Weeks reminded the population that while she appoints and removes members of the service commissions in accordance with specific constitutional provision, the service commissions are independent even of the president, who does not direct, participate or interfere in their deliberations and decisions. On Saturday, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said he never involved himself in any selection by the PSC for a substantive or acting post. He also claimed he did not see a list of the prospective candidates for the top cop position. Dr. Rowley confirmed, though, that he wrote to the PSC 1 year ago to say he had lost confidence in the then Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith. Kimberly D'Souza, TTT News.
I will never not be a soldier.
Colin Powell, a soldier turned statesman, made history on many fronts. The first African American and youngest chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and later, the first African American Secretary of State.
So I've always felt strongly that you should try to solve conflicts in this world through negotiations, through diplomacy. Anytime we can solve a problem that way and not use force and satisfy our objectives, let's push for that.
Powell grew up in the Bronx, New York. His parents emigrated from Jamaica. By his own admission, he was not an outstanding student.
It's been amusing over the years to have people come up to me and say, well, General Powell, you're chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. When did you graduate from West Point? Couldn't have gotten in.
He enrolled in the City College of New York. Geology was his major, but the ROTC became his passion. Powell flourished as a cadet and after graduating, excelled as a soldier. He served 2 tours in Vietnam before earning a prestigious fellowship working for the Office of Management and Budget during the Nixon era in 1972. Afterwards, Powell returned to his troops, eventually becoming a general, and went back to the White House in 1987 as President Reagan's National Security Advisor. Then, in 1989, the general became the highest-ranking officer in the U.S. military when President George H.W. Bush named him chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Our strategy to go after this army is very, very simple. First, we're going to cut it off, and then we're going to kill it. How long have you been here? You been here the whole time?
Powell became a household name during the first Gulf War. His policy of overwhelming force against Iraq became known as the Powell Doctrine.
I express my sincere thanks to each and every one of you for being here to share my final day in uniform.
After a distinguished 35-year career, Powell retired from the Army in 1993. 10 years later, the United States would become involved in another Gulf War, and Powell again played a key role.
My colleagues, every statement I make today is backed up by sources, solid sources. These are not assertions. What we're giving you are facts and conclusions based on solid intelligence.
Then Secretary of State Powell made a case in front of the UN Security Council, arguing that Iraq posed a grave threat to the world because, he said, they had weapons of mass destruction. The following month, the U.S. invasion began. The war lasted more than 8 years. No weapons of mass destruction ever turned up.
I regret it now because the information was wrong.
After 4 years as President George W. Bush's Secretary of State, Powell returned to private life. He spent his civilian years empowering youth through his projects, America's Promise Alliance and the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership.
We're going to go and educate the kids who are most in need. And when I heard their stories, I said, this is where I belong. I'm home again.
General Colin Powell, a leader and a patriot, who devoted a lifetime to service.
This has been the WINNFM 98.9 newscast. Let's take another look at our headlines. Natasha Gray replaces Ian Patches-Libert as Palm East Bastia candidate. In news from the Bahamas, people with marijuana convictions can apply to have record expunged. Internationally, Colin Powell, first black U.S. Secretary of State. Devon Cornelius, WINNFM. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Caribbean.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name. A smooth blend with perfect balance and richness. It's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs. And make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, Dalil Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Not 5, not 10, but up to $20,000 off a new Toyota Hiace. Choose your Toyota Hiace model, choose your financial institution, and save up to $20,000. Roll out reliable, fresh, and in style with free licensing, registration, and tinting. It's a bus bonanza with up to $20,000 off. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason.
Run to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. By popular demand, Cashback is back, but this time Cashback is back with more quality appliances, more great prices and fantastic deals, more of Hosford's fabulous FlexPay payment plan, and more free groceries. A whole year of free groceries. Come to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store today and get absolutely free groceries with every higher purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. Great deals on furniture and appliances. Get cash back for free groceries with FlexPay higher purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year with every $500 spent. All great reasons to shop at Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store this coupon season. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Saying good afternoon to many listeners. Want to say welcome back to those who were on before. And those who are just joining us, welcome to another episode of Voices. You're logged on to WINNFM 98.9, and your host of today's program is Socrates. I need to reiterate for those who may just be joining us that we've been having some challenges with the phone lines throughout the morning. The technicians are aware of this, and they're trying to rectify it. We've not had a successful caller. Nevertheless, I would encourage people to try to call it to get into whatever debate they want to have on the radio today. I had a text from a lady up there in Atlanta. I call it Hotlanta. Name is Jennifer Richards. She's a sister of the late Kuba Asigai, and she's logged on to the program with some very encouraging words. I did mention that my voice is a bit hoarse because of, and she wants to tell me that Baron's honey voice. Some persons are just good for your ego. She happens to be one of those. So thank you, Jennifer Richards, for that plug. And yes, we shall continue with the program. I'm glad to know that you're hearing us loud and clear out there, and that the message of peace and tranquility in a world of turmoil still prevails here in SKN, St. Kitts and Nevis. And of course, this extends to the wider Caribbean. We are a zone of peace. And I shudder to wonder if we had some hiccups in terms of the situation in Grenada, the challenges in Haiti. Did we just lose a call? We just lost a call and we didn't even know there was a call on the line. Imagine that. Caller, are you there? Are you there, caller? Can you just, we were unaware that you were on the line, so we apologize for that. So please try again if you can. All right. Did you signal? Okay. So yes, we are in a zone of peace. We've had some hiccups in terms of the one-off incidents here and there. And we do not want to be part of what happens in the crazy part of the world. It is said that once we are recognized as a place with minerals, gold, diamond, those precious stuff, we are in trouble. We see the situation that was unfolding over there in Guyana and Venezuela when it was discovered they had oil and all the thing, and all the major corporations just swooped in like vultures and all that. We don't need that thing happening here. So we appreciate the zone of peace that we're in. We pray for peace in the world because it's not a good thing. We know children, the refugee situation, the slaughter, all because of somebody's greed. And sometimes when we have a little issues here in St. Kitts, I shudder. I wonder if people pause to see how easily things can spiral out of control. We don't need that here. We definitely don't need that here. Okay? And we've had some challenges like just about every other country in the region, but we were people of faith. Something came to mind during the news break. I mentioned that the other president and I were late for Mr. Grant's press conference, but while I was there, he made a mention that to date we've had, in terms of visitors via the cruise ship arrival, some 3,740 passengers would have visited over the past few weeks, or since they reopened the cruise season. And he did mention that sometimes that's the capacity of one ship. That figure he mentioned of 3,700, and sometimes that's the capacity of some of the medium-sized ships that would come here. Capacity sometimes 6,000 passengers. And so we're going from that peak, that numbers we were welcoming 1 million passengers, 2 million passengers to our shores. And over the past few weeks, based on the number of ships that would have called so far, we have totaled a mere 3,740 passengers, something like that. And we, of course, we're addressing the challenge of that work being shared equitably. That meeting slated for tomorrow with the taxi presidents and the other entities is part of the dialogue that will serve to address that problem. So yes, there are challenges, there are problems that we can do it. We are capable. We've gone through so much before as a people in the region. We can do it. For those who need an extra ounce of patience, hit your knees. It's going to happen. It takes time. It takes time. But we'll get there. I want to extend to the folks in the medical fraternity, the doctors, the nurses, the surgeons, the administrators, all those folks who had to go the extra mile to husband and steer us through all that has transpired to our people since the arrival of COVID-19. It has not been easy. It's been very taxing. But we look back with gratitude and we say, thank you. You may not get it from everybody, but know that the people who really, really appreciate the work that you would have done. When I'm driving west, I live in Sandy Point, as most folks know, and I see nurses standing out there from GF, from the hospital heading west. I stop. Sometimes I pass and I feel so guilty. I feel so guilty. Especially if it's going to set up to rain. And at times, I'm only going to Sandy Point. But I stop to give a nurse a lift to get her off the road. It's after 10 at night. You don't do that. You don't pass these persons. And I live St. Paul's. I didn't plan to go to St. Paul's. I did not plan to go to St. Paul's, but you respect these persons for what they do, and you go the extra mile to make sure they get home safely. Far be it from me to know that I would have passed a nurse or somebody of that nature working, having worked late, and you're waiting for a bus. Now the bus will take you home. The bus may take an extra 15 minutes. I'm passing you there. I'm going in the same direction, so I offer you a lift. And then here you go in St. Paul's. Yeah, man. I asked for that. But I do it. And, next 2 days, I completely forgot what I did. I didn't do it as to hold on to something to cherish. I just do it because it's part of who I am. And there are many, many persons who feel that way. So as we're giving thanks to folks in the medical fraternity who has been there, going the extra mile to keep us safe, etc., I want to say a special thanks to the nurses and for all those folks in the public, those who have transportation, who assist those young ladies, the nurses heading home late at nights, having to wait for transportation. And then we go across to those in the security. Oh, there's a lady around town that is not very well liked. Not very well liked, very popular. And for a variety of reasons, sometimes she irks and she rubs people the wrong way. But I think the Federation owes her a debt of gratitude. I need to appreciate exactly the role that she plays in St. Kitts. We're talking about Rouse. We're talking about, I'm not sure her rank, if it's Sergeant Rouse or Corporal Rouse, but she is one of the persons downtown that a lot of folks, a lot of drivers take umbrage with. To coin a phrase, she don't play. Very strict, doing her job, and the times when you're doing your job, you're not appreciated. Many, many times people say, oh, Rouse could get a personal chance. But you know what happened? People who use the road, the drivers, the many drivers of the many vehicles, they see Rouse coming, and if they're about to infringe, they pull up the socks. They pull up the socks because she's recognized as a person. As they say, don't give you chances. I happen to know better. But she's very strict, take her job very seriously. And these are people that are not very well liked by people who they think they're offended, but we need to appreciate persons like her. So, Corporal/Sergeant Rouse from Socrates and the folks at WINNMedia Family, I want to say thank you for your contribution to the safety in terms of what you try to secure for drivers, pedestrians, etc. in SKN. So yes, and Mr. Pemberton from Public Works, I saw him in a program this morning. I had to call and say thank you because I did ask him to assist us And by us, I mean the folks from the SPHS, the Sandy Point Heritage Society, in resurfacing the entrance to the Sandy Point Hard Court. For some time, it's proved challenging, and so repaving was not contracted to do that. They were on the main road, but we did ask the assistance. Mr. Gilbert gave the accommodation. He says, I'm not a politician, but I give him my word. I will make sure that's done. So the folks from the Sandy Point community would have benefited from the resurfacing of the entrance to the Sandy Point Hard Court. I want to thank him for that. At this time, my voice is a bit hoarse. So if I call for a station break too often, it's to give it a chance to sort itself out. So yes, I started the 3,740 persons who have visited so far. There is the issue at Port Zante that will be sorted as soon as we can. And we're going to call taxi drivers for a general meeting sometime in the next couple of days. I was trying to source a location for that. It didn't quite happen as yet. So as soon as we get information, we want to invite all of the taxi drivers, those who are in associations, those who are not, those who feel, well, as my boss said, work for myself, you need to be part of that meeting. We need your dialogue, because part of the terms and the conditions, we did ask government to assist us, not financially, but there's accommodation that we're trying to put in place that would take that stress of seeming dependence on the government or this or that entity and put us in a more viable position in terms of our businesses. And so we need, as they would say, all hands on deck. This thing about this association versus that association, and where you find the two agents can work one against the other, we need to address that. That's been part of our history, part of a problem going way back infinitum. I want to change that and bring a new dialogue, a new level of participation, whereas we can, as one entity, approach the relevant bodies, authorities, and better manage our affairs. That's one of the things that the other two presidents and I...
Horsford's Automotive wants you to be a hero too. Yes! Drive like a hero at the massive Horsford's Automotive Be a Hero sales event. Go to Horsford's Automotive today and drive away like a hero with up to $35,000 discount on select models. Your choice of either free gas for 3 months or up to $1,000 in free groceries. Pay just 10% VAT. Yo, just 10% VAT. Free servicing for 1 year. Free bill of sale. Free registration, licensing, and tinting. 0 down payment. That's right. Absolutely 0 down payment. And much, much more. Drive away like a hero from Horsford's Be a Hero sales event. The biggest, most heroic sales event ever in the Federation. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
It's happening again. By popular demand, we're doing it again. Yep, we're doing it again. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances is once again giving away double cash back for free groceries for the months of September to December. Every customer at the Horseman's Furniture and Appliances showroom in St. Kitts and in Nevis gets double cash back coupons for absolutely free groceries. But it doesn't stop there. Every hire purchase customer will also get a chance to win. Yep, get double cash back for free groceries and a chance to win absolutely free groceries for a year with every $100 spent on hire purchase. By popular demand, we're doing it again. Double cash back for free groceries, plus a chance to win free groceries for a year. Come to Horseman's Furniture and Appliances today and expect low prices, expect great quality, expect free delivery, expect double cash back for free groceries, expect a chance to win free groceries for a year, expect the extraordinary. Terms and conditions apply.
WINNFM reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who, in WINNFM's considered opinion, is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air.
At 18 minutes up to the 1 o'clock hour, we have a call on the line. Are we that lucky? Caller, you'll have on voices. Tat, 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 tat. One of those days, don't take it personal, of course. Journey would have texted me. He mentioned he's trying to get in. He's have things he want to discuss. Unable to, so I know when he gets in next time. And it's due to no fault of ours. So yeah, we want to thank the faithful who are still with us, those locked on, those listening, those who've tried, didn't get in. But of course, you know that Win FM, we do our best to accommodate calls from the public. We need it to be part of the national debate, the public discourse, so please don't take this as any form of discouragement. It means that we have to try harder to put things in place to make sure that this is not a challenge next time. I saw an item here that I saw a few days ago, and I must join in. Congratulations, Dame Constance V. Mitchum. Mitchum, congratulations to her, Excellency Dame Constance V. Mitchum, who has been recognized as a pioneering Caribbean woman jurist by the Caribbean Court of Justice, Academy of Law. I think she was the first female parliamentarian. I was the second. No, I think no, the first. Yes, she was, because Ms. Charles was not successful at the polls, and she was the first magistrate of the St. Kitts working that it was BVI. She have a number first to her name, so we want to congratulate Dame Constance Mitchum on being recognized by the CCJ as a pioneering Caribbean woman jurist by the CCJ Academy of Law. I am finding little things to fit in here and there. I know Rossi and those guys in circles are trying to get in. Wally was able to call last week and speak about his situation. And he's one of the elder taxi drivers, very well respected. A rebel. And I know he has no problem with me branding him a rebel. He was at pains to point out last week that he would have advised taxi drivers, don't do this, don't do that, don't take this road, don't give authority of your business to the tourism authority, etc. And it's not that he's saying, I told you so, but based on a lot of complaints and things that happened, he feels that he was justified in taking such a stance. He's one of the persons who is not doing too well business-wise. We're hoping from the meetings that we're looking for and the results, the resolutions we are trying to put in place, that would address the problem of a person like Wally, one of the pioneers. We're going back to the days when taxi drivers drove in vehicles that didn't even have proper seating. They would have blocks, cinder blocks, and sponge on them, and they would do the yeoman service. A lot of volunteer work by taking their travel agents. People came to Marcus St. Kitts. These guys were called in to do that job. They did it without pay. It was all about marketing. Some of them have passed on. Some are still here. And they'll tell you that our vehicles back then was a used vehicles from St. Thomas or from St. Martin. That was already started the corrosion from the salt from those countries. And we had to do with those vehicles until when we know the first Minister of Tourism was the Honorable Paul Southwell. But later on, after we achieved independence and we took on tourism seriously as a second entity, because prior to that, St. Kitts thrived on what was a monoculture of sugarcane. So when tourism was introduced at that level, you're building hotels, you want to bring airports, but your taxis are not up to standards. So what the government did? Do we have a caller? Huh? Okay, let's fish for a call. Caller, you're live on Voices. Hello there. If you're there, we're listening. You're live on Voices. Okay, we're still troubled. And so now to upgrade the stock to receive the world, the government of the day waived the duties on the vehicles that you were then allowed to purchase. You were limited to up to 7 seaters. But the way the duty, we know that in some cases, duties on vehicles up to 45% of the value of the vehicle. So you had to buy it twice. So what the government did was to say you only had to pay $1,000. $1,000, that's all you had to pay. Once you were recognized as a bona fide taxi driver, and that allowed a lot of people to improve on the standard of service they were able to deliver. You were able to, whether you bought it here or you were still bringing it from overseas, only $1,000 you had to pay. The duty was waived except for that. So you went from paying 45% of the value of a vehicle because you had to build your tourism stock. Hotels, small guest houses were given that they waived I think it was for 3 years. They also were given accommodation so they could build. You could build your hotel, your guest houses, and I know a few who would have benefited from that. It was a tax shelter. I don't exactly remember the phrasing of the wording, but it was a tax shelter given to small hoteliers and guest houses for about 3 years to allow you to invest and bring a level of service that was not readily available in St. Kitts, if you're not a big establishment. So taxi drivers like Wally and the many like Percy, let me call Percy. Percy will tell you how his vehicle was, the days of Jordan and those guys at the airport, and the hustle was on. They were given a chance to introduce better vehicles and by extension a better level of service to their clientele. And that's how it all started to grow back then. But many of them would have been the pioneers making sacrifices to ensure that our guests or passengers or travel agents were well treated. We went around to all the hotels. We went up to Wallen's Plantation, Otley Plantation. We went here, we went there. We went down to the Golden Lemon in the evening. I mean, like, those were the days of the big spenders. So you worked throughout the night. You did that, etc. And then the industry grew and grew to the point now where I think we're swamped when it comes to taxis because we introduced heavily in cruise tourism. Second port was envisioned. Well, the first port that was envisioned because prior to that, all the cruise ships would dock up at what we call the deep water harbor. We had other cargo vessels docking there then. It created a problem. And so the first port was envisioned. Its completion was delayed by about 18 months due to the sinking of a barge with equipment. It was sunk off the coast of Haiti by a particular hurricane, the name I don't recall. And so there was a delay in the construction and completion of that port. And in the interim, there was a change of government. And so another administration was able to take over the building and the completion of the port. And sadly, on the day of the opening of the ports, just about everybody from the region, from St. Martin, from here and there, was invited for the opening ceremony down at the port. Taxi drivers were assembled down there. Big ceremony. And the person who started the construction of the port was not invited. The man who started the building of the port was not invited. Dignitaries from St. Martin, St. Thomas region, and Dr. Simmons was not invited. Matalan said, no problem. I'm going to go get him. And Mr. Matalan went and escorted Dr. Simmons on himself. And you know something? When he was making his way down to the arrival hall, a certain politician started out, boo! And some other taxi drivers followed. Imagine that. I started applauding. And a few others did. But I'm saying, due to that particular hurricane that sunk that barge off the coast of Haiti, the delay in construction and completion of the port, Port Zante, was delayed. As a matter of fact, people question, why did it call Port Zante? Somebody called me a few weeks ago and says I need to campaign for the name to be changed. What is Port Zante? Why is it called Port Zante? And they blamed former Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Dewey Astafan, for it. I don't know his involvement, but I know he's not the one who suggested the name. The name was suggested by the late former Governor General Innes, an intellect, of course. And he thought that it should be named Port Zante because Columbus, when he arrived here, opinioned that the shape of the mountainside reminded him of the plains of Zante in Greece. Columbus opinioned that in approaching St. Kitts, the shape of the hillsides reminded Columbus of the plains of Zante in Greece. So as a result, they named it Port Zante. You understand? Sometimes our intellect takes us too far. What we want to do with Columbus' impression of St. Kitts still today? I mean, we still call St. Christopher and all that. We understand the colonial mindset and the name, you know what, give me a break. You name the port after an opinion of Columbus, who says when he's approaching St. Kitts, the shape of the hillside reminded him of the plains of Zante in Greece. So our port is called... Are we due for wait for sponsors? Go right ahead.
Run to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. By popular demand, Cashback is back, but this time Cashback is back with more quality appliances, more great prices and fantastic deals, more of Hosford's fabulous FlexPay payment plan, and more free groceries. A whole year of free groceries. Come to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store today and get absolutely free groceries with every higher purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. Great deals on furniture and appliances. Get cash back for free groceries with FlexPay higher purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year with every $500 spent. All great reasons to shop at Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store this coupon season. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Be a hero. September is the month of heroes in St. Kitts and Nevis. And for the months of September to October, Horsford's Automotive wants you to be a hero too. Yes! Drive like a hero at the massive Horsford's Automotive Be a Hero sales event. Go to Horsford's Automotive today and drive away like a hero with up to $35,000 discount on select models. Your choice of either free gas for 3 months or up to $1,000 in free groceries. Pay just 10% VAT. Yo, just 10% VAT. Free servicing for 1 year. Free bill of sale. Free registration, licensing, and tinting. 0 down payment. That's right. Absolutely 0 down payment. And much, much more. Drive away like a hero from Horsford's Be a Hero sales event. The biggest, most heroic sales event ever in the Federation. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Once again, welcome back to our many viewers and listeners. You're logged on to WinFM 98.9 and you're listening a phone call. Are we that lucky? Caller, your live in voices. Welcome to the program. Are we not that lucky? Or we just missed that call again once again? Yeah, there's a challenge for me out there. Hey guys, we're looking for the phone call because you see what happens when I'm allowed to rant and just carry on way. I end up in all kind of trouble. But that's the reality. So the question is, how long shall we continue with that colonial mindset of naming? I think, though, there needs to be, and I've been told that the Postal Service is looking at renaming some of the streets in honoring some of local persons who would have made contributions and should be duly recognized in whatever humble way you can. We know some of the streets like the George Street and the this and that. It goes back to King George, the colonial era, etc. There's been discussion about naming certain streets after Kenrick Georges, Elson Nero, Elimats, our icons. We have some from the sporting fraternity, those from the cultural, the education. There are those who have made their contribution. We know of a number of schools that has been named after head school teachers, Tucker Clark, etc., those two teachers. And much, much appreciated, but we can go a lot further. So for the young people coming up today and want to know why is the Port Zante named Port Zante, who answers them? A lot of folks don't know the history behind that, the thinking behind that, and that can be changed, it should be changed, etc. Somebody mentioned a while ago that only male national heroes, they're seeing we need to have female national heroes, and though we pause to honor a lot of the females in society who have made a contribution, their none has been elevated to that platform where they recognize as national heroes. Now, I know there is a process by where people are nominated to the honor committee. So I don't know if anybody would have taken up that particular challenge to recognize or to attempt to bring due recognition to the many females in our community, in our country, who deserve that level. It will be a very good thing for the next National Heroes Day. We can see a Shiro up there. Can we call her Shiro? Or heroine? You like heroine? Okay, not the hero, not the Shiro thing. All right, okay. So Sharon is supporting the idea of, for the next National Heroes Day, we can tout and present the accomplishments of someone who deserves that recognition and can be recognized and applauded as a female heroine, not a hero. All right. Now the question has been asked if only politicians. One of the guys who I'm competing against next Saturday, he's from Guyana. He's from that Guyana Rebels, Guyana Gladiators. He says the only hero he hear about him saying kids is Kim Collins. He's trying to get at me, but that's a whole different story. I'll take care of him. So the only hero that he know from St. Kitts is Kim Collins. And even though SKN, well, St. Kitts, we won the CPL game, it was Guyanese on the team and no Kittian. So he's having his fun. But yes, there has to be people within a society, people who would have made their contributions in such a way that they can be deemed national heroes. We're talking about females. Now, we know that teacher Anne Rivan down in Sandy Point, she clocked 100 sometime last year. I had a chance to sit with her. She is very lucid. She remembers everything, and she was given a national award. I had a chance to sit with teacher Sylvia Mills. She's the wife of the former Minister of Government, Charles Mills. And she was 96 when I interviewed her. We were speaking about Sandy Point back then because there is this Sandy Point Heritage Society. And we're trying to get as much of the history and heritage of Sandy Point documented. I apologize, my voice is failing. And so I had occasion to sit with Miss Sylvia Mills a few months ago before she went back to the U.S. We had about a 2-hour interview. And the amount of information she shared with me that when she went to the Teachers Training College in Antigua, they had to walk with their own utensils and beds. Yes. And that was like, really? They had to walk with their own utensils and their own beds, or their bedding. And they were for a long time, you would come back home, but you had to walk. And she was very proud of her accomplishments, the institutions she attended, and that's very important. And I don't know, at 96, there are many people in Sandy Point, even attending the school named after her husband, who have no idea who she is and her contribution. So we have the Sandy Point Heritage Society. That's what we're looking to do. I've spoken with another, Mr. Lloyd Williams, a former educator from Sandy Point. He would have spent some years in Tortola, but he's back in St. Kitts. Very prominent Sandy Pointer, very visible. If you see a Jeep with two flags, one from the BVI and one from St. Kitts, that's him, Lloyd Williams. And I had occasion to speak with Mr. Milton Smith. Mr. Milton Smith worked with the Ramos Group of Company for many, many years. Tall, distinguished-looking gentleman. He has a son by the name of Sylvester, my height. I'm a Sylvester too, so I'm just trying to get, And his daughter, she would have passed, his wife is down there. She worked for the bottling company for many, many years. And he is the first resident of the area he lived there, was Box area below the factory there. And I think that should be named after him, Milton Smith Roundabout. So we're looking at all these things. And that's why I say that when I speak to the people who are supposed to know the term, the Postal Service is looking to do that. But in the meantime, people are dropping off. What are you waiting for? I recall I was in London and I made a call to Minister Grant. It was about 4 years ago, maybe a bit more. And I said to him, you know what? For the national awards this year, they pick somebody in tourism and they give an award. I say, we need to look at Mr. Colin Pereira. He said, oh, yeah, great idea. Because Mr. Colin Pereira, OTI from 40 rooms to what it is today, and then the Reggae Beach and all that investment in tourism, I found that he was a due candidate for that recognition. And I was told that, but the list is already compiled for this year. I said, well, Minister, you're the minister. Honor Mr. Pereira where he's living. The man dead. He got the honor about a year after posthumously. His son collected. Now, we know the minister and folks in government, they do not know and can't think of everything. But the persons on the ground and engaged, Mr. Pereira should have been one of the persons. As a matter of fact, his name came up in a conversation a few weeks ago. And I wasn't sure whether he was the first hotelier on St. Kitts or it was Mr. Freddie Lamb. But whereas Mr. Lamb had the Fairview Inn Hotel and that large structure of French colonial building, Mr. Pereira had like 4 little rooms. 4 little rooms, I remember. Let's try for the public. Caller, are you there? Good day, caller. You're live on Voices. Okay, no problem. So yes, I'm going to have to ask taxi drivers, those who were active back then, or people in the know, which of the two, Mr. Colin Pereira or Mr. Freddie Lamb, which of the two had the first hotel in St. Kitts, whereas the Fairview Inn could have been identified or recognized as a hotel. The OTI was 4 little rooms with a restaurant. I had a discotheque and different things. I don't know what the description was at the time, but it was Inn. It was the Ocean Terrace Inn, and that name still prevailed till today. And I recall when they had to cut the road, which was above then the Fisherman Wharf, and extend that property. Unfortunately, with all investment that has gone into it, it has not done well. It's not being used as a quarantine facility. But what a fabulous place. A lot of the business travelers would use downtown OTI rather than stay in Frigate Bay and have to take a taxi. Those who wanted to walk from that hotel downtown to the business, that was one of the more popular destination or choice for business travelers back in the day, the OTI. And so Mr. Colin Pereira did not get his due recognition while he was alive in terms of being awarded by the government during the award ceremony. And so he got it posthumously to his son. Time for a break. Well, let's have one. The throat is a bit sore.
It's happening again. By popular demand, we're doing it again. Yep, we're doing it again. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances is once again giving away double cash back for free groceries for the months of September to December. Every customer at the Horseman's Furniture and Appliances showroom in St. Kitts and in Nevis gets double cash back coupons for absolutely free groceries. But it doesn't stop there. Every higher purchase customer will also get a chance to win. Yep, get double cash back for free groceries and a chance to win absolutely free groceries for a year with every $100 spent on higher purchase. By popular demand, we're doing it again. Double cash back for free groceries, plus a chance to win free groceries for a year. Come to Horseman's Furniture and Appliances today and expect low prices, expect great quality, expect free delivery, expect double cash back for free groceries, expect a chance to win free groceries for a year, expect the extraordinary terms and conditions apply.
Run to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. By popular demand, cash back is back, but this time cash back is back with more quality appliances, more great prices and fantastic deals, more of Hosford's fabulous FlexPay payment plan, and more free groceries. A whole year of free groceries. Come to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store today and get absolutely free groceries with every higher purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. Great deals on furniture and appliances. Get cash back for free groceries with FlexPay higher purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year with every $500 spent. All great reasons to shop at Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store this coupon season. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
WINNFM reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who, in WINNFM's considered opinion, is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air.
Okay, folks, welcome back to Voices. We're having some challenges with the phone lines, so that's why we will not be able to entertain the public. But I want to share something with you, a bit of history that was shared with me by Mr. Lloyd Williams. And we have Mr. Chris Collins up in Sheffield saying that Lloyd Williams is a legend. He treats me like a son. I call him Uncle Lloyd. And we had funds in Just Van Dyke. Yeah, cool. Now, one of the things that I learned from Lloyd Williams and Mr. Smith, that back in the day, during funeral processions, you didn't have any hearses. Hearses, not horses. And you would have probably a long journey from where you lived, because then you would leave your home back then and go to the cemetery. They would have 4 chairs. And that will be part of the procession. So the pallbearers, they would go tired along the way, and they would stop along the way, and they would put the coffin on the 4 chairs. And that was a norm back then, and I thought, really? He said, yes. And they would move on, of course with the singing, and and they'll stop again, and they would position the 4 chairs and rest the casket on them. So during every funeral ceremony, once they entertain any distance, that was the method they used in transporting, if you wish, the deceased to the place of interment, the cemetery. You ever heard about that? You heard about that? So that's something I learned from Mr. Lloyd Williams. It stresses the importance to speak to these persons who were there before us and get an understanding of how they thrive, what was the norm back then. When you hear that they're 19 years old, living at home, but couldn't go to a dance. They couldn't socialize at a level. You couldn't go around a domino table where the adults were playing. And I'm saying, how old are you? 19. You live home? Yes. And he got his paycheck, would go home and give it to his mother, to his parents. That's how they were raised. You know, the education system back then, of course, Mr. Lloyd Williams being a former educator, same as Mrs. Sylvia Mills, same as Miss Anne Riven, and proud of what they went through and what they were able to share about the school system and all that. How many classrooms were out on the ground? If it rained, you had to be under a tree to shelter and all the different things. And the role that Mr. Mills... I'm going to have to go back to those tapes and listen to them and probably bring some of the information because it's things that we need to know. We learn a lot about what we call the Lazarette Home, Charles Fort. I've gone in search of that fort in Fig Tree. There was a fort in Fig Tree at the entrance because that was the demarcation line between the French and the British. Going back to La Valley being French, Bellevue being French, that was where that fortification there. And it was believed that the British infringed on that demarcation line and it led to a war, which included Brimstone Hill eventually, etc., etc. So, long before the slave market in Independence Square, the slave trade would be at Sandy Point. That's where the vessels would land. His name, I forgot his name just now. The author of the song Amazing Grace. What's his name? Okay. I have the documents where he landed at least 3 times at Sandy Point. He came here as a slave ship captain. He came here 3 times, and I have the documents. I did some research where he landed at least 3 times in Sandy Point, offloading enslaved persons there. And so there's a place in Sandy Point that we call the Pound. It used to be called the Pound Yard. In my day, it was used as an impound facility because the planters then would take your animals, your cattle that strayed, your donkey, and they would impound it. You would have to go and pay for its release. So that was the norm. Because if you were trying to supplement your income by having goats, sheep, etc., once they strayed on the plantation property, well, of course, the big industry sugar cane. So to redress that loss, financial loss, they would impound your animal. You would have to go and pay for it. I'm reliably informed that that pound yard was a slave market in Sandy Point. That was the slave market. Downing Street, and I want you to look at something, Sharon. Look at Downing Street. And look at that street, I keep forgetting the name, up there. Just, if you're going west, that large street going down there. Lord, what's the name, man? I forget the name, I'm going to get. The homes there are built at the same architectural design as those in Downing Street in Sandy Point.
Really? Downing Street in England you're referring to?
Well, Downing Street in Sandy Point was named after Downing Street in England.
Okay.
Because that was the British colonial headquarters in Sandy Point. That's where they built. Right? The first Methodist church, the first Catholic church was found at the foot of Downing Street. That was the first Catholic church in St. Kitts, Downing Street. But it was the English. That was where the colonial headquarters was. So the commerce in Sandy Point, all the ships that came from the UK, from Europe, landed first at Sandy Point. So Fig Tree and Palm Bay played a pivotal role. Long before Basti was established as a capital, the slave trade, they would drop off the enslaved there in Sandy Point. And the pound yard was then used as the slave quarters. But due to migration, because a lot of us migrated, we hear about our people going to the Dominican Republic to look work, going to Panama, etc., migration, immigration, a lot of our history would have traveled. And the people now living in Sandy Point from, say, Jamaica, from here, have no idea, no connection with the history of Sandy Point. That's why we are so encouraged to collect as much of that as possible and deal with it. So I have pictures of the location of the first hospital in Sandy Point. That's Dominic Street also. But I was saying, if you look at the designs of the houses on that street, Lord, where this guy have Vasbo, he sells the pizza, that street there, down there. What's the name of the street?
You're
just as bad as me.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that street, if you look at the houses there, and you go to Downing Street in Sandy Point, both streets are as wide as each other. And the homes are the same. I got from, apart from other research, Sister Sylvian Henry told me that was how they recruited Sandy Pointers to come to Bastia to live. Because Sandy Pointers then were the most intelligent people on St. Kitts. No, this is Talk Sylvian. And so they brought them to Bastia and they built homes that resemble those in Sandy Point. That is why that particular street is identical to Down Street in Sandy Point. And that is where you have this thing about the Sandy Pointers feel the most intelligent because they're the ones who know. They're the ones who know. You know? And so that's a whole different debate for people who say, well, your Sandy Point believe in this, but there's actually historical reason why they were seen and viewed as that. And so when you get a chance, look at the homes, look at them and see what, really identical.
Interesting.
But as I say, due to migration, we would have suffered a brain drain. We went to Panama, we went to the Dominican Republic. In the latter years, the 60s, we went to the USVI, we went out there to find work, better our economic situation, and that history, that sense of community would have been disrupted. Some people want to come back home, they feel nostalgic, and they want to get a breadfruit, they want to get this because back then, And this thing about breadfruit, do you know that breadfruit was brought from the South Pacific with the express purpose of feeding the plantations? You know that?
I did not know that, no.
Okay, here's a story. Some years ago, they were questioning, how could Usain Bolt be so fast? What's going on? And they checked his diet. Last part of it was breadfruit. And they found that there was a steroid, or there is a steroid in the breadfruit that bulks you up. And he was told he can't eat breadfruit. Athletes try to race in were forbidden for eating breadfruit. But it explained why breadfruit was fed to the enslaved on the plantation, mainly the male population. It bulked you up. Bulked you up, made you strong. So there was method to the madness. Why they brought breadfruit? I think they said the first trees were taken from the South Pacific to St. Vincent. Nevertheless, I recall the folks from the St. Paul areas growing up were strong because we had a ton of breadfruit tree over there. And some of them were in the cane fields. So, back then, you're a young boy going to school, but you're in the cane field. That had a strong, muscular thing. Lots of breadfruit. In St. Vincent is oiled down and it tastes good. I've enjoyed it.
And in Grenada as well, yeah.
In Grenada? Mm-hmm. There you go. So, I recall one of the Malalus. And by the way, the Malalus came from Sandy Point. Did you know that?
I did not.
There is a burial plot in Sandy Point for the Malalu family. The last one who died, the service was held in Bastia, but he was driven to Sandy Point in the Malalu burial plot. They're from Sandy Point. So a lot of folks that we attribute to be people from Bastia, the point I'm giving again, they came from Sandy Point.
I think we get the running theme, Socrates. Thanks. We get it.
I want to make sure you get it.
I think we got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Just to let you know, because there is a historical document, that supports that. It's not a narrative; it's a fact. But yes, it's part of a history. It's national history, not Sandy Point history. We know what the old world play, Keon played during the colonial time, but people need to research and speak to them. Let's see, I'm getting a text from one of the presidents here. He's asking about the time. Okay. If you're listening, the time for the meeting tomorrow is 10:30 up at the NEMA building. This is Mr. Tyrone Richardson, president of the St. Kitts Taxi Association. So share this with Mr. Brandy. Mr. Brandy is into a lot of farming right now at their times. He's up in the mountains doing his thing. So share with him when you can. Or David Brandy is on now. When? Time 10:30. 10:30 up at the NEMA building. Yourself, Mr. Brandy, you, Mr. Tyrone Richardson, and myself will be sitting with persons we were discussed with last week at the breakfast with the Prime Minister. I will be taking that discussion forward. Let's see what Chris have to say. Chris is saying what now? Getting a little discussion. Chris is saying, Sharon, I train what?
I realize.
Yeah, he's from Newtown. You know. So, Chris, we need to have a discussion on two levels. Renaming the streets of Newtown. I know you're Newtown man, you're out there, but we need to start this debate, or continue debate. Renaming the streets of Newtown after icons, sporting, cultural, those in education, the average Joe would have made a contribution. We need to start that. And I would like at some point to have a debate on radio or other platform as to how we can begin to recognize recommendations as to persons, females who should be recognized and given the designation as national heroes or heroines or sheroes. Sharon prefer heroines, so we can have that discussion. There is a nomination process, but the discussion can be had. And you'll find, oh, yes, Miss So-and-so. Oh, yes, I forget so-and-so. That's how we get this thing started. You know? So at any given time, I'm willing to, I know WINNFM won't mind that, entertain that discussion. We're looking at for the next National Heroes Day, some female, when it says some, a female or females in our community, St. Kitts Nevis, should be recognized and elevated to that platform as national hero. Not just awarded for this and that contribution, as a national hero from education, from culture, from sporting endeavors, from whatever, social development, whatever. Young women need to see themselves reflected in a female national hero. It encourages, it helps with your self-esteem and image. Oh yes, I can aspire to be like her. I can do like her because there's somebody who would have done it for me, and the debate needs to start with us.
And I think if you actually had a discussion, again, on WINNFM, we have no problem facilitating that. And say we have maybe 3 persons that are suggested, and once during that program you say why this person might be a candidate to be elevated to that, then maybe the general public can then get behind that push and send in the recommendation in order to push that person forward.
Is that live, right? You're talking to me live?
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful. Because there will be a vetting committee also.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I think it will be a good thing not only for WINNFM, but for you as a young lady to help lead that debate. What is it?
No, you might be pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, but being a part, because you find men don't know everything, eh? And from our perspective, we may miss some of the salient issues. So females need to be part of that debate. And of course, you said that your station would have no objection, they will actually support it. So, yeah, I would vote for you to be part of that debate. No problem at all. So, Chris, we're looking at Newtown. We're going to leave Sandy Point for now. Let's have a discussion about Newtown and your many icons and, what we can do about renaming streets after them. Let's see what Jennifer has to say. I lost you after the break, and when a phone call came through and I tried, I simply could not get back in, and for that reason, I'm so sorry, Miss Richards. That's the lady that said she's sister of Ashigai up in Atlanta, and unfortunately, she did not get back in. So, yes, she's also a friend of the Federation. She's been here oftentimes, actually. Grew up in St. Thomas, but from the Newtown area and all that. So, yes, those are 2 debates I'm looking forward to. Let's keep it to Newtown for now. We're going to leave Sandy Point out of this. Okay, Sharon and Chris? Are you Newtown people?
I'm not from Newtown, but
We thank you in advance.
Okay, no problem. So Win FM has no problem being the platform for that discussion. And as I said, our target should be for the next National Heroes Day. That's due on September 16th, is it? All right, I think so. So we have to be... We can start it. We can start at any given time. Maybe next program, let's have a discussion. Maybe Johnny can help us. Sister Sylvian Henry. We're winding down, and it's been quite a morning. We want to apologize once again to the many persons who would have tried to get in on the discussion via telephone calls. For whatever reasons, there are some challenges with the lines. The technicians have been aware of it. The engineer, Lady Sharon, they've been on point trying to get it sorted. For some reason, it's not happening. We hope that for next program, probably for later on today, because there are the programs throughout the week, that issue will be rectified, because we do love to engage with the public, hear what you're thinking. That's how you keep abreast of all sort of developments. Yes, we are part of that national debate, and it cannot be done without you. Let's see. So we covered the prospect of identifying a female national hero. We have Chris telling me how we're showing off his standing point. Okay, we cover that too. And yes, we as a people have to count the blessings. We extend condolences once again to those who are bereaved. We celebrate with those who have reason to celebrate. We are part of this community. I'm happy to be part of this Voices platform. My name is Socrates. And I want to wish each and every one within the sound of my voice, those who are able to view the world over, a much brighter and safer tomorrow. Keep the faith. This too shall pass.